Sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Click on the link in the description and enter promo code Undecided for 85% off and 3 extra months for free. It can be hard to know where to start with smart home improvements, so I thought I'd do a tour of my smart home and walk you through my top 10 home automations. These are the things that I value the most to help with security, convenience, saving energy, and even some money over time. I'm Matt Ferrell. Welcome to Undecided. Smart homes are a lot more than gimmicks and needing your smartphone to turn on a light. They really can give you peace of mind and save you energy and money over time. But the amount of things that you can do can be overwhelming. So I wanted to share some of my favorite home automations and products that I'm currently using to spark some ideas and inspirations for you. My main rule is that everything should have a purpose and address an issue that you're having day to day. A very close second is that you should always be additive to how you use your home today. Nothing should become more difficult to do. So here are the top 10 home automations from my smart home right now. Now, these aren't in a ranked order, but be sure to stay through to the end for an extra tip if you're just getting started with this. Starting off on the outside of my house would be the lights. I live on a street with minimal street lights, so at sunset every day, I have an automation that turns on our front porch light and light post, and they'll automatically turn themselves off around bedtime for us. We normally don't leave our light in the backyard on for longer than 10 to 15 minutes. We tend not to hang out there at night. So I have a routine that automatically turns off that light after it's been about 30 minutes. Plenty of time to take the dog outside at night and get back in. You could also add a motion sensor and have it automatically turn itself on or off if motion's detected. But our main concern is that the smart home system is taking care of things in case we forget. Working my way towards getting into the house would be the garage door. To get this functionality doesn't mean you have to replace the whole garage door opener. There's some affordable systems that you can buy to retrofit your opener, like the Chamberlain MyQ. In my case, I'm using a little controller from Garagio. The door button in the garage works as normal, but I can also open and close the door remotely through the Garagio app or through my Habitat hub with some help from If This Then That. When our house flips into away or night mode, the garage door will make sure it's closed. It's a set it and forget it type of automation, and adds some peace of mind that you don't forget to close the garage door when you've left for work. Covering the other ways into our house would be the outside doors. There's no shortage of smart locks on the market, so you can definitely find something in every price range. I've been using August smart locks for several years now and have been happy with the performance, but I did want something that's a little more flexible. I don't always have my phone or my key on me. Just recently, I upgraded our front and back doors to Yale Asher touchscreen smart locks. A couple of quick perks are the built-in touchscreen for keyless entry with or without a smartphone. And the flexibility of integrations is kind of amazing. Even though August can integrate into Google, Amazon, and Apple, it's a proprietary system and has some limitations. Yale did something very clever. You can purchase different wireless modules to make their locks work with pretty much any system out there. In my case, I got Zigbee modules so they can hook into my Habitat system, but you can get Wi-Fi, Z-Wave, and even August modules. The flexibility along with the looks and features is what won me over. Combine a smart lock with a door sensor and you can know if the door is open or not. And from that, you can set up some pretty powerful automations. Ever had one of those moments where you get to work and then you can't remember if you locked the back door or not? Well, with a smart lock, you can not only lock it remotely, but you can set up an automation to do it automatically for you without having to even think about it. If both my wife and I are gone and the house is empty, the house automatically flips into away mode, which makes sure all of the doors are locked. The same thing happens when the house goes into night mode around bedtime. But I also have an automation that checks if the door is locked 5 minutes after the door is closed. That covers those times that someone runs out to put something in the recycling bin and forgets to lock the door when they come back in. Not that my wife has ever done that. Or me. And directly related to that are my home automations around security and intrusion detection. I have door and window contact sensors around the house, so we know exactly when and which doors have been opened. Now, most smart home platforms have some kind of security functionality that you can take advantage of. For me, I'm using Habitat's safety monitor rules, which arm and disarm the house based on what I've set. Like having a system blast out a warning on the smart speakers in the house if the outside doors are opened when the house is in away mode.
Intrusion detected downstairs.
Ecobee's new Haven subscription service is also something I've been recently trying out. If we're away from home, the Ecobee system will automatically start recording video from the Ecobee camera if there's motion detected in the house. or if one of the door or window sensors has been opened. I'm still testing out the system, but the image quality from the camera is really nice. It includes night vision and can integrate into Apple HomeKit. And just like their latest thermostats, it has built-in Alexa if that's something that you're interested in. The camera and the speaker is really loud, so if you want to talk to somebody or have an alarm sound if intrusion's detected, it works great.
Hello? What are you doing?
What makes security systems like Ecobee Haven interesting is the lack of a keypad for arming and disarming. The system knows when you're there or not and takes care of it for you. Now that we're squarely inside my house, it's a good idea to talk about controlling the temperature. If you saw my Ecobee thermostat review, you'll know I'm a big fan of smart thermostats. They're a little pricier compared to some of the other smart home gear that you can get, but they can make a dent in costs of heating and cooling your home. And they really are a set it and forget it kind of thing. Ecobee actually sent me their newest model to test out with some of their other new gear, and I have to say that the latest version is snappier than the third generation that I was using. Basic functionality is the same, but it feels a little faster and it's in a more streamlined package. It also has built-in Alexa support if that's your voice assistant of choice. I have automations and geofencing set up with my system, so it automatically dials back the heating and cooling when my wife and I leave home. In the past, I've had this hooked into the Habitat to help control and synchronize that with the Ecobee. But I've been testing out Ecobee's new Eco Plus and Ecobee Haven products by letting the system manage this on its own. With the Eco Plus system, you tell Ecobee what level of savings versus comfort you're happy with, and it finds ways to streamline your energy use and HVAC system. It even ties into your electric company and time of use rates. Ecobee takes advantage of all of the temperature and motion sensors that you have in your house, which includes their new door and window sensors. Combine that with geofencing on your phones, and it's pretty accurate at knowing when you're home or away. Smart thermostats like this can really make a difference. Building off of that, it's also a good idea to control humidity level in some areas of your house. Add a few temperature and humidity sensors around the house and combine that with some smart outlets and dehumidifiers, and you can take better control of the humidity levels in damp places. My garage, which is part of my basement level of my house, can get really damp and humid. I have a smart outlet controlling this dehumidifier. Now, Habitat is looking at both the garage temperature and the humidity level to determine when to turn it on and off. If it's too cold, the dehumidifier is kept off. If it's above freezing and the humidity level reaches a trigger that I've set, the system kicks on. It's more accurate than the built-in monitoring on the dehumidifier itself. Related to that, I have a humidity sensor in my bathroom, which I'm using to monitor and control the bathroom fan. After a shower, if the bathroom gets back down to a certain humidity level, it'll turn itself off. Continuing down that path, I have automations and warnings set up for water leaks. I'm using a couple of different SmartThings water sensors hooked into my Habitat hub and the safety monitor rules I mentioned before. If there's water detected around my pump or water heater, it will play a warning on the smart speakers around the house and send a notification to our phones.
Water detected.
I set this up after we had our water heater die and leak in our basement, and it came in handy almost immediately. Our replacement water heater was faulty and started leaking within the first 24 hours, and this system caught it. Well worth setting something like this up. But what about kicking back and relaxing or sitting down to do some work? We have automations around pretty much every single light in the house too. I have a mix of Philips Hue lights and Lutron Caseta switches around the house. The most affordable way to add smarts to your lights is with smart switches, since you can control multiple lights with one switch. Like in my kitchen, where there's 4 ceiling lights running off of one switch, which is cheaper than replacing each light with a smart bulb. Some of the routines I have are linked up to my Logitech Harmony remote control. When we turn on the TV after sunset, the lights in the room automatically dim for a more comfortable level for watching TV. Turn off the system to go to bed at night, and everything, including the lights, turn off. And a push of a button on the remote control can turn the living room lights on and off, or even turn off the front porch light if it's distracting while watching TV. In my office, I have some routines set up for when I'm recording a video just like this, versus when I'm sitting at my desk working. I can just call out to my HomePods to start working or start recording. Before I get to the last few automations, I'd like to thank Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Wonder if there's an automation I could set up for this. Well, anyway, I always use a VPN when I'm traveling and using free Wi-Fi in airports and hotels. But that's not the only reason to use one. Surfshark encrypts all of the data that you send over the internet, so your private data like passwords, messages, photos, videos, and whatever you're doing online stays private. That means you can protect your online identity from tracking and commercial targeting that we see in so many services today. With Surfshark's CleanWeb, it will block ads, trackers, and malicious websites, making it safer to use the internet, even at home. One of the best parts of Surfshark is that it's easy to set up on all your devices, whether that's iPhone or Android, Mac or PC. Surfshark is the only VPN to offer one account that you can use with an unlimited number of devices. Use my code to get 85% off plus 3 extra months for free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to try it out for yourself. Link is in the description below, and thanks to Surfshark and to all of you for supporting the channel. And that leads me to helping out with the not so fun stuff, chores. How many of you have a washer and dryer in an area of your house that's not in earshot of something like your living room? So you forget to check in on the laundry in a timely manner. Have you ever smelled wet laundry that sat in your washing machine for too long? I'd like to avoid that. So I set up some automations to give my wife and I a heads up when the washing machine or the dryer have finished. For my washing machine, I hooked it up to a Zeus Z-Wave smart outlet. There are lots of options out there depending on what system you're using and integrating with, but outlets like this can monitor energy usage. In Habitat, I have an automation set up to detect when the energy use starts and stops. When the washer is stopped and the energy use drops, it calls out to the smart speakers around the house that the laundry is finished.
Laundry finished.
In my dryer, I'm using this little white box called the Smart Dry. It attaches to the drum of the dryer with magnets and can detect motion, temperature, and humidity. You set it up with your phone and you tell it how dry you like your clothes. Anytime you run your dryer, it automatically kicks on when it detects the drum spinning. And it lets you know when your clothes have reached the dryness level that you set up in the app. It's a lot more accurate than my dryer is at the same exact task. Now, I found that we can sometimes stop the dryer 10 to 15 minutes early compared to when the dryer thinks it needs to be done. When you consider that washers and dryers account for about 13% of our energy use, this can save you a lot of money over time. It's not perfect though. The notifications only work through the phone app, and it's limited to one device at the moment. It's a small team that makes Smart Dry, and they have plans to add more functionality and integrations, but just know that it's a little limited right now. Now, as much as I love this one, I haven't been able to take advantage of it in quite some time because we're all stuck at home right now, and I've also been working from home for the past couple of years, but I do have automation set up around my iRobot Roomba vacuum cleaner, and if this then that, just automatically kick off a cleaning job if there's nobody home. When both my wife and I worked away from home, this was a great add-on to an already great product. Now my final tip is around smart home gear in general. If you're just getting started out with this, pick a system to get yourself started and focus in on the gear that supports that. So it doesn't matter if you're going with Apple HomeKit, Alexa, Google, or a self-hosted option like Habitat. The thing that I learned quickly was that the smart home gear that's out there is a bit of the Wild West, even in 2020. Try to pick gear that can support multiple systems to give you flexibility over time. It'll work great out of the box, but it will also be able to grow with you, like the Yale smart locks that I mentioned before. Setting up a smart home can be fun and rewarding, but also incredibly aggravating when things don't just work. The smart home user experience still has some challenges around it, but if you figure out the rough edges that you're trying to smooth out in your daily routines and buy specific gear to address that issue, you should be able to enjoy the benefits of a smart home without driving yourself crazy. Now jump into the comments and let me know what your top automations are. And as always, a special thank you to all of my patrons. Now if you like this video, be sure to check out one of the ones that I have linked to right here, and be sure to subscribe if you think I've earned it. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.